Hey there. Hey. This little guy right here came to our homestead not too long ago. And when he did, we think somebody dropped him off. When we saw him, he was so skinny. He's still slim, but he was really, really skinny. I don't think he had another day or two in him. He wasn't moving around a lot, but now he's gained some more weight. He moves around a ton, and he's doing well. And ironically, Josiah named him Slim, so that name has stuck, and Slim has stuck around. Check out our sunflowers, especially that one right there. I wonder how tall it is. Looks like it could be close to 10 foot. See if we can get a tape measure and measure it out. All right. So, you gonna help me out?
Sure.
All right. So, I'm gonna pull it up there. We'll pull it down to the ground. All right, push your button down. All right. Okay, bring it up to me. All right, so what are we at here? It's just right under 9 feet tall. So I think it was like one of those 107 inches tall. Bummer, I was hoping it was gonna hit 10. So now that I'm actually standing here in the bed, it does look closer to 9 feet tall. But I think this is the tallest sunflower that we've grown here. What do you think, Josiah?
Yeah, it is pretty big.
So next year we're hopefully we can grow even more sunflowers. Because I did this bed with hopes of doing another bed just like it over here, but we didn't get to it. So that's just the way it goes. Sometimes you get to some of the projects you want, but a lot of times you don't get to all the ones that you want to get. What about you guys? Have you gotten to all the projects that you want to do this year? A lot of us had a lot more time than we normally have to do the projects, but sometimes you still don't get done exactly what all you have up here to get done. So today, and speaking of that, today we're continuing to work on getting things ready for fall, getting our weeds under control. Oh, down there is where we have our ducklings. And I think that one is out. Yep, there it is, right there. Right there. We'll try to get it back in. Selah, you help me out? Oh, you got it, didn't you? Alright, we'll put the little guy or gal back in. They're coming back. We're putting it back. Whoa! She was not happy with you. You alright?
Yeah, it's the first time she's jumped out and billed me.
Did she actually get you?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I think I know where it got out.
Right there at the hole. Yeah. Well, your babies are back. We'll leave her alone. I want to get billed again. Got enough bills. Isn't that right? I got enough bills to pay, beaks to feed, mouths to feed, snouts to feed, other bills to feed. All right, well, it's time to get to work in the garden. And speaking of which, this summer, we've grown more than we have in the past, but nowhere near where I still want to be. I feel like we can maximize so much more. But even though it's the middle of summer, right now, we need to be preparing big time ASAP for fall. We've been doing some preparations, but we really need to make sure all our beds are ready and we got our seed starter that we need to have started. So, and speaking of that, we also have some weeds we need to get down before we can actually have areas prepped. So continuing to work on weeds. It's a number, that's like an ongoing struggle, I think, for every gardener, is weeds. So continuing to add more landscape fabric as well as doing different methods and things to suppress the weeds, but it's just part of the struggle. It's real. Actually, that's not the worst row in the world. And gradually I've been trying to use landscape fabric more and more just because it really makes a difference with keeping the weeds down and reducing the amount of work that you have to do to work around keeping them down and out and around the places you don't want for them to be. For a number of years I've been using it to grow lettuce, and it makes a big difference in having nice clean cuts. I've also added landscape fabric around the walkways or in the walkways in some of the perimeter areas of the garden. That makes a huge difference. And here recently I've added it to sloped areas on the garden since our property here is on a slope, and that is making a difference. But going forward, I think I'm going to add even more in a lot of the beds that we're doing things in. Like where I'm growing these peppers here, we've had to work around keeping things down, the weeds down, and plan to do it around the basil next year as well. So we're really just going to plan to just buy more, and that would be one thing I would do differently if I was to start my garden all over again from the beginning, is I would just get a whole bunch of landscape fabric. And for the size garden that I have, I would probably spend at least $1,000 or so on landscape fabric if I'm able to, and was able to, and then just landscape everything that really keep things down and be able to reduce the work that you have. So I didn't have landscape fabric down around these peppers. And speaking of these peppers, they are excellent peppers. It's called a Murasaki pepper. It's an heirloom Japanese pepper. It's not hot at all, but it is very, very prolific. It has like a bell pepper taste, kind of, sorta, and it could be used in a number of different ways. But I really need to get this down all around here. It's overgrown. So let's get on it. And this right here is a really helpful tool for working with weeds. Called a stirrup hoe. It's also called a scuffle hoe, and I've heard people call it other things, but you can get one of these online. I'll provide the link in the show notes below, and you can actually probably pick one of these up at your local hardware store too, but they're really helpful. All right, definitely warmed up for sure now. Man, and hopefully I'm learning my lesson. We're gonna be ordering some more landscape fabric ASAP, because I'm gonna try to minimize having to do this as much as possible, because taking some of that out was like ripping up a carpet, gradually and slowly, and not easy. So, especially with the Bermuda grass, it's one of the weeds that we have the most problems with here, and it's called devil grass for a reason. So next we're gonna take this right here, and one benefit is it provides some nice vegetation for our animals. What do we have here? We have some escapees right here. We've been gradually transitioning the ducks from being up here at the top of the garden or above the garden to down by the pond. But some of them have been confused and don't want to stay down there. They want to keep coming back up here away from the pond. So we're trying to train them and condition them to go back down there. So looks like we have a number of them out here. Hey Josiah, could you give me a hand getting these? Let's try to get these first. I want you to go on the other side. Other side. What we try to do is use a barrier, a fence, a wall or something. Try to work together and pinning them in, and then they kind of get confused if you stay out away from the barrier, and then they try to go to it or through it, and then you can usually get them. Come forward wide. Come forward wide. Yep. Stay wide. Oh. Stay wide. Stay wide. Like where the camera is. Get to the left. The left. right, there's some over there. Let's get them pulled back in. Remember to stay out wide.
Why did the ducks cross the road?
Why?
Because they were trying to get away from us.
Wacka, wacka, wacka. You do remind me of Fozzie from the Muppets. Stay wide. Stay wide. You're getting too narrow again. Stay wide. Stay wide. Stay wide. What about these? It's tough to try to explain to somebody else what to do and then be doing what I need to do and carry this around too. So I'm just gonna try sitting it down again and just get these ducks. There you are. Gonna get you. Get you back in. Gotcha. All right, we got 2 more left, Josiah. They're making us look bad. Wide, 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 wide. Get wide. Get wide. Yep. Stay wide. We got one. Get it. Put her in. One more left. If you can bring her around, bud, that'd be great.
Where'd you go?
She's right under the tree. There. All right. Last one. Woo, so I got some more exercise in. On top of the burn, a little bit of the burn from the shoulders and forearms from using the stirrup hoe down there to pull out those weeds. Coming up here, chasing those ducks around. Give me a little bit of cardio too. And there's one time where I even dove for a duck, and I actually got some duck poop on me when that happened. So, even though we were diving to get them, we weren't hurting them in any way. Try to be as careful as we can, even as we're trying to put them back in. And, whew, that was fun. Not really. So I really wasn't thinking when I was telling Josiah to put them back in here, since we're trying to reposition them down there by the pond. But we just put them back in here, and we'll have to shuffle them around later on. But I'm gonna go ahead and give them these from down there. And I'm gonna take a little water break. Earlier I was talking about the landscape fabric, and I know some of you were like, use the wood chips, use the mulch. And we have done that in the past, and we do use that from time to time. And we've used a lot of the mulch and wood chips that have gotten this year and even last year on our animals, keeping their areas sanitary and sanitized. But with everything that's going on right now, we haven't been able to get any more of the wood chips for free. So still waiting, still on the list. Still waiting to hear back. Hopefully we can. But we are implementing some of the wood chips and mulch and around our fruit trees and other longer term crops. But I found from experience that in the market garden with high rotation crops, that the mulch really and the wood chips really isn't something that I prefer to do. So just got finished cooling off for a little bit and getting me a refreshment, and now it's time for weed eating. Ben, who's a family friend, has been helping us on and off the farm for the past couple years, and he's getting a head start with weed eating. And Josiah here has been wanting to learn to use the weed eater, so today is his first day to learn. Another mistake and thing I would do differently if I were to start my homestead earlier, is to incorporate more people to get it off the ground. I waited too long to start bringing people on to help and try to do too much myself. So that would be something else I would do differently. All right, Josiah, you ready? All right. All right. All right, so You're right-handed, so you can grab it like this and then press this down. Do it like that when you're ready. Alright, let's see you try. See if you can do it. Alright, and then you're just gonna try right here in these areas just like that. Alright, so let's try weeding this grass down right here just a little bit. Don't hit me. Alright, go ahead. As you get a feel for it, you just want to keep it a little bit off the ground and keep it level. It's gonna take a little bit of work, but you got it. Let's come on over here where I can really have you doing it. Alright, Josiah, weed it right along here, along the wall, stuff like that. Go for it. Okay, you can't weed the wall. You're going to try to keep it away from the wall. Watch this. Alrighty, while Josiah's weed eating, Ben's weed eating, it's time for Selah to let out the ducks onto the pond. The other ducks that are actually staying where they need to. So we're just gonna tag along with her for that. Ready, Selah?
Ready.
And she's gonna be gathering some eggs from the ducks as well. Because usually our ducks, they usually stop laying around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, depending on what time of year it is. But it's getting close to that time now, so they should be wrapping it up for laying eggs and ready to play in the pond. This is one of my favorite scenes that we get to experience here on the homestead, is seeing the ducks when they get to go out and play on the pond. It's neat when they going down and getting water or fish or whatever they're doing and their tail end sticking up. It's also neat when they dive down and under and you're like, where did they go? And then they just pop up somewhere else. It's pretty neat. Get some eggs there, Selah?
Yep.
Kind of laying all over the place right now.
Yep.
All finished?
Yep.
Battery dead?
Yep.
All right, I see you upgraded to the shield here. Hanging out all right in there?
Yep.
All right, we'll get you a new battery and we can cut some more later if you want. Those arms get a workout?
Yep.
Where'd you feel the burn at the most?
In my wrist.
In your wrist? What about your bicep right there? Did you get some there? No? You have some big biceps? All right, good job, man. Way to go. Oh, we wanted a fist bump. A few vlogs ago, I mentioned how much I enjoy using battery powered tools. It really just helps make things a lot easier when you just press a button and it starts. And one of the things I didn't think about until today is the benefit of using them for kids, of having carry around something and use a tool that's not quite as heavy and cumbersome to use. It also reminds me of a number of years ago. I had a friend and client that I worked with for personal training, fitness training, and her husband was dealing with cancer, and she had to take on a number of the tasks around the house that he would use to do outside, such as using a blower to blow the leaves off the driveway. And she just using a gas powered one was too heavy for her. So I ended up recommending a battery powered one, and she loved it. It was so much easier for her to use. And for those of you who have kids or work with kids, that's something to be mindful of. Try thinking of adapting the tasks that you have to do around your house, around your homestead, or whatever, to involve them in, get them to participate in. It not only helps you out, it also helps them out to develop the character, the confidence, to know that they can do something, to push them out of their comfort zone. We all need to be pushed out of our comfort zone from time to time, and it's so good for them to do that as they learn and grow and develop and learn to be adults. So got more work to do out on the homestead, just something to think about, and hopefully we all continue to grow on.